When a couple of Manchester City players turned up at Arsenal in the summer of 2022, no one expected that they would help turn the club into a title challenger from the off. Perhaps the expectation that Gabriel Jesus could have a marked impact on how Mikel Arteta's Arsenal side would play was already there in the mind of the fans, but very few anticipated the effect that Oleksander Zinchenko would have on Arsenal's season. So, looking back with the bias of hindsight, and with Arsenal still sitting at the top of the table, why do Zinchenko and Arsenal make so much sense? Ask many Arsenal fans about the changes that Zinchenko has brought to the team, and it's likely that you'll hear the word inverting used at some point. Inverted fullbacks have been around for years, but Zinchenko is perhaps the most extreme inverter. In some games you'll see him popping up all over the field, making it seem like he's fulfilling the role of a central midfielder rather than a fullback. But what benefit does this actually give to Arsenal? Well, the most important aspect of inverting your fullback is that it allows you control. And this happens both in and out of possession. In possession, bringing your fullback inside enables a team to have an extra player in the middle of the pitch. This usually gives you a player advantage over the opposition midfield and can help you to create space that the rest of the team can exploit. So let's take two different examples. Inverting your fullback can create space both horizontally and vertically. By moving the fullback into a more central position, what often happens is that the opposition wide forward will have to track them more centrally, opening up space in the wider part of the pitch. You could call this pinning the midfield narrow. This space can then be exploited by either the wide forward dropping in to pick the ball up, or the number 8 on that side drifting out wide. And by doing this, space will be created somewhere else. Space that can then be exploited by another teammate. Alternatively, inverting your fullback can also generate space vertically. Let's imagine that the opposition wide player doesn't track the fullback. Well, Arsenal now have an overload in the midfield area, which they can use to manipulate the opposition and create space in between the lines. So by inverting their fullback, Arsenal are able to develop a number of solutions to problems in possession and help them to create space that they can then take advantage of to move the ball down the field and generate more dangerous attacks. Zinchenko is perfect for this role because he has the skill set to play as a central midfielder, a position that he's played throughout his career, whilst also being able to function as a more traditional fullback when required. This gives him a natural advantage over someone like Kieran Tierney, who Arsenal used at left-back previously. With Zinchenko, Mikel Arteta is afforded a level of tactical flexibility which allows him to solve more problems in possession than he might do with a fullback who couldn't invert as well as the Ukrainian. And inverting the fullback also affords a football manager an out-of-possession advantage too. By moving a fullback inside, the team are able to adopt a more compact structure with their defence, which can help prevent opposition teams from overrunning them if they lose the ball. If the ball should be turned over, Arsenal's compact block of 5 deeper players is well set up to stop the counter-attack. By allowing space in the wide areas for the opposition to attack, Arteta is increasing the distance that the opponent has to travel to get to the goal in these moments and reducing the distance his own team have to cover. But Zinchenko shouldn't simply be viewed as an inverting fullback. He can also function as a more traditional wide fullback in certain situations, and this is increasingly important as Arsenal are coming up against teams who are going to sit deep and look to prevent them from finding space to exploit by compacting themselves around the box, just as Bournemouth did in the 3-2 thriller that Arsenal won in the last minute of the game. In these situations, Zinchenko is far more likely to end up in the wide areas, keeping the opponent pinned back in their own box and looking to work the ball into dangerous situations either by hitting the byline and cutting the ball back or by swinging in crosses from the left channel. In these moments, it's important for Arsenal to control the game as much as possible. As you can see, their players are positioned extremely aggressively, leaving a lot of space in behind for their opponent to take advantage of if they lose possession. Again, Zinchenko has the skill set to both work the ball into dangerous areas of the box, but also retain possession in tightly congested spaces, helping to avoid turnovers of the ball. So as before, Zinchenko offers Mikel Arteta a clear tactical upside, but now in a more attacking phase of play. And this flexibility has led to Arsenal being much more dangerous all over the pitch. With all the benefits that he offers his team, it's not hard to see why Zinchenko and Arsenal work so well in harmony. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic is home to some of the world's best sports journalists, including journalists dedicated to each Premier League team, so every fan gets the coverage they deserve, not just the big clubs. And you can try it for free now for 30 days. See the link in the description.